Hello! So we've seen a brief glimpse of what's coming in They Shall Not Pass DLC. If you want to see this brief glimpse in full, then you need to go and have a look at the Battlefield Facebook feed or their Twitter feed. But here's a brief idea of what you get. It's the view of a tank and the view of a French trooper. And of course this has brought out a lot of speculation as to what exactly we're seeing. So this is a very large, super heavy tank that the French made. And also we've got what looks like a French trench fighter. Now some people are saying this is an elite class, some people are saying that this is just the support class with the armour on. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that that super heavy tank has been called a Char 2C by a lot of different people. As you know, I'm a grumpy old man and I'm about to go into full pedant mode, because if this is World War I, that tank cannot be a Char 2C, because the Char 2C wasn't even thought of until 1919. The French did start designing a super heavy tank in World War I. In 1916 to 1917 the idea for this super heavy tank came out and they developed a prototype which was called the FCM-1A. We know exactly what version of this tank was around in 1917 because there's actually film of it from 1917. This is the FCM-1A being field tested. So they tested it out for manoeuvrability and then later on they tested out the weapons on it, because there were actually two different versions of the FCM. There was an A specification and a B specification. But because of production troubles, what they ended up with was the FCM-1A, which was kind of a cross between the A and the B. It had got the body and the engine that they were put in the A specification, but it got the gun of the B specification. Now this is the only version of this tank that existed while World War I was actually happening. There was a lot of disagreement within the French army and generals changed and the programme was kind of scrapped. They built about a dozen of them, but they never saw service. In 1919 the French needed to build their own tanks, so this is after World War I, and the reason they needed to build tanks was because the American and British Liberty tanks that they were being offered were on the condition that the French were also trying to arm themselves. So they decided to redesign the FCM-1A and that became the Char 2C, but this is after World War I. The Char 2C didn't actually see service until 1921 and it carried on its operational life into the 1930s. So as you can see, if you're being historically accurate or pedantic, the tank we see in that World War I battle cannot be the Char 2C. It should be the FCM-1A. Unfortunately the tank in that video looks exactly like the Char 2C. It's got all the modifications that the Char 2C had over the FCM-1A. So it looks like DICE have taken not only some historical license, but they've also time travelled to get a tank that didn't exist in World War I, even as a prototype, into World War I. Now it may end up that even though it looks like the Char 2C, it's called the FCM-1A in game. That would be kind of understandable because it's where they were going with the prototype. But if they've called it the Char 2C in game, then unfortunately they've got their history completely wrong. So yes, this is being very pedantic because the DLC hasn't been launched and we don't know what the tank's going to be called, but there have been enough videos and enough tweets calling this thing the Char 2C to get me annoyed, and I get annoyed very easily, and hence you get this video of the FCM-1A. Thanks for watching.